Well, greetings again from Hopalong Hollow. I'm not quite finished with the greenhouse, so it looks like there will be a part 3 because I ran out of some materials that I needed to finish some of the windows up there and some trim and that sort of thing. But let me just show you how much I did accomplish in the last 2 weeks. Hello, girls. So today I'm up here in the barn because I'm working on something, another door. I've changed my mind on the door that I was going to use in the greenhouse and found something much, much, much better. So the girls are going to watch me through the window. I remember from the last video that I took panels out of a 28-inch solid wooden door in order to use that on the greenhouse. I wanted to put glass in the top 3 panels that I removed. But then my thoughts came to this door that I had up in the barn, which used to be on the potting shed herbarium. And we took it down because it got a lot of rot on the bottom and we planned on repairing it. But we never put it back on. I put on a different door. So I got to thinking, wow, I love this door, but it's too wide for that space that I built. So I'm going to trim this door down in order to fit instead of using the previous door that I showed you in the last video. This is a wonderful door. This door came from England, so I like that about it too. That it's got all the original hardware. It's got a mail slot, but most of all it's got this beautiful stained glass. So I'm pretty happy that I decided to put some work into this door. It's going to take a lot, and I will start out by trimming it down to size with my circular saw. The first thing I have to do is take off the old hardware so I can get to the edge here and give that a nice trim. Needed a lot of sanding, trimming down. I repaired the caulking or the silicone on the lead glass in the back to hold it in better. I'm not stripping this side all the way down because I want some of that red paint showing underneath. When I put a coat of green paint on top of that, sand it down a little bit, I want some of these red highlights showing through. So the paint that I've used is an exterior house paint, real good quality, and this is about 2 shades darker than our actual house, the green on our house. It was probably one of the trickiest things that I had to do here. I had to change the hinges position at least 3 or 4 times before I finally got this door to swing properly. Still, an uneven space up there at the top. I'm not really worried about that. I can put molding on the inside of that door and get it a nice tight closure so that the air doesn't come in the wintertime and freeze me out. But it's good enough for me. I mean, it's good enough for me right now. And, oh joy, the roof is on. My door opens. I've got my rafters on. I am ready to get the roofing on, and it is so lightweight and easy. I will have that done by the end of the day, probably within a couple hours. Now, the way I learned how to do the roofing was simply by watching a bunch of videos. Now, usually the 2x4s are not going this direction. They're sitting up vertically, and that's one thing that I did differently than most carpenters will do. But I had a reason for that, and that's because that little space up there between the siding on the house and my 2x4 here, these 2x4s just fit right in that slot. Every day when I come out here and look at this, I just can't believe it. I can't believe that I built this. I can't believe that in this short of period of time, I have a greenhouse, a real working greenhouse. And you know what? 2.5 months ago, this wasn't even on my radar. I wasn't even thinking about building a greenhouse, not even a bit. I just took a look at the little greenhouse that I had. It was my little tiny mini greenhouse, which was on the back courtyard. And I was going to take it apart and I was going to double its size, which still would have only made it very small, not something you could walk into. That was my plan. And then I started looking at greenhouses online, trying to find just a small one that I could use temporarily until James was wanting to build me one. And I mean, I'd find one that I liked, and it was either had really horrible reviews, like it was impossible to put together, it fell apart in the first windstorm, all kinds of bad reviews, or it was just way too expensive. And that's when the ideas started to churn in my head. Why don't I just build it myself? I don't have to ask James to help me, because he's pretty weary after having restored the bridge. I mean, that was a horrible job for him, and he did a great job on it. But doing this myself has been just absolutely a rewarding experience. And now well, like I said, I come out here, I look at this. It's got a great size. It turned out that it's about close to 7 feet by 9 feet. I will be able to get so much in here, so many plants, so many seedlings. This is really going to be wonderful. I have so many areas for shelving, and I'm just really, really pleased that I have managed to do this. And that's why I videoed the whole thing, because I want you to see that you can do it too. Framing the roof was really going to be intimidating, but the fact that this is a lean-to right off the house made the roofing job a lot easier for an amateur like me. And I got a lot of my information from the Home Depot website that shows you how to use the Sun Tough corrugated polycarbonate roofing that I'm using today. I'm about to put the roof on. Applying the closure strips right here on the end that hold the roofing in place. And this is just so easy to do. Just go on the Home Depot website and find the video. It shows you exactly how to do this. I'm not going to bore you with this bit right here because it's just so easy to figure it out if you watch the video. These plastic closure strips make this so easy, this roofing so easy. Now you can also buy these in wood, but I like the plastic because it will not be rotting out. Make sure you're using pressure-treated wood on anything that's going to be in the weather in your greenhouse. In fact, all the wood here is pressure-treated, of course. Well, I got my first clear panel up, and it was really relatively easy because the corrugated panels just slide in between those enclosure strips, and then you bolt them down with special screws with rubber washers. Wow, so only 4 more to go. 3 panels up, 2 to go. Disastrous mess here in the potager, but who cares? I only have 2 more panels of roofing to put up, and it's just so easy. 2 months ago, if you told me I was going to have a greenhouse here, I would have said, really? How is that going to happen? I wasn't even thinking about doing this. Well, it took me all day long, but I did it. It wasn't so much that it was difficult. It was just moving up and down the ladder, moving the ladder about 30 different times and in 30 different positions, reaching across the roofing because my arms weren't long enough to get those screws in. I don't know how many screws are in there, but a whole lot. And I don't think that roof is going to go anywhere. Bring on the wind. So pretty much my structure is finished. I have open spaces that need more glass, and of course I haven't done anything on the inside. And now I want to do some trim. So I was experimenting with some different patterns, came up with that little bit of fretwork down there on the bottom, and I've been up in the barn cutting that. Now I can dream about what I'm going to do with this garden. I am going to fill this garden full of tulips, hyacinth, allium. I am just going to fill it so that in the springtime, this greenhouse is just going to be overcome by beautiful, beautiful blooms. I don't want to get too ornate on the greenhouse, but I do want to add a little more pizzazz. So I did this design to do a little fretwork for some trim. And I'm cutting through 2 at a time to save myself some work, but I'm still going to need 41 feet of this. And I'm going to paint it before I put it up. So I think I'll use the green on the inside, the white on the outside, and drill some pretty large holes in between here. So I'm using my trusty jigsaw to do this. And it's actually not taking as long as I thought it would. But right here I have, let's see, 8 feet, no, 16 feet. By that fretwork trim right underneath the roofing eave, but I decided no. I don't want it to be too cutesy. I don't want it to be too Victorian. I just wanted something to add a little extra touch. So if you build your greenhouse from old windows and salvage, you will have a one-of-a-kind building, because that's what I like about these, actually. There are many, many people that have built greenhouses from old windows, but all of ours are different, and that's because none of us are going to have the same size windows. We're not going to find the same shapes of windows, and we have to put them together like a puzzle. So each one is unique to the materials that you have and the way you design your building, and that's what makes these kind of special. They're just not like everybody else's greenhouse, because they can't possibly be. Looks like there'll be a part 3 of the greenhouse build. And I still need to put some gutters on, finish the polycarbonate on some of those windows because I ran out, do a lot of finish work because there's some places that are kind of rough. All in all, I'm pretty happy with it. It's sturdy as a rock, thrilled about that, and I'm happy to say that I did this all by myself. There were just a few times when I had to have James come and hold something for me, such as a 2x4 while I screwed it in up on the roof. But other than that, this is all my own creation. So it's certainly not a professional job. But this is, for me, I'm proud of it. I think it'll be here for a long, long time. And honestly, I wouldn't have been happier if I'd purchased a $10,000 kit, honestly. In fact, this makes me pretty excited that I did this. So it's not finished yet, and in the next video we will probably be planting bulbs here, cleaning up this poor potager, which is a disaster at the moment. Just picking up the debris and starting to plant some bulbs in here, because wow, look at this mess. Look at this mess I've made. It's just horrible. But well worth the effort. So, from Hopalong Hollow, we'll see you again in part 3 of the greenhouse build and planting bulbs next time around. Thank you for coming along.